tell me about your anime workshops.
Oh, so I think I was convention hopping. When I say convention hopping, I got influenced by going to a convention, like a comic book convention in the beginning, and then later on anime conventions. And then when I say convention hopping, it pertains to going to Artist Alley and having my table and doing art. And then, so I was actually trying to do the same thing when it comes to like going to libraries, maybe proposing to the library or librarians that, I can do these things and stuff like that. You guys have certain conventions and things like that I can pertain. They said, oh no, we just have programs. Oh, and I said, programs? What kind of programs? Oh, like people come in and like they talk about their specialties and stuff like that. And then, oh, and I said, oh, does anybody do anything about anime and stuff like that? And it's like, no, not that I know of. And so I said, I can, probably talk about anime. So I started, I don't remember, it was just maybe, I think one of the, we also developed a club. There was a club there. So in that club, an anime club, and I forget which library it was. It could have been Skokie Library, could have been some other library. But I remembered because this club went around different libraries. But I remembered being in Skokie Library when I first had that realization, oh, I can do this anime workshop type of deal. So how that evolved was when I was talking about anime, I decided, oh, you know what? It's better if I did this while I was drawing it. So I decided to go to the dry erase board, got a marker, eraser, and started sketching. And then I started talking about, oh yeah, if anybody wanted to learn how to draw, I'll show you a little bit of a sample. Basically I would draw the face, and then maybe just the top part of the body, the bust part, and then I would talk about different aspects of anime style. And then the librarian told me, you know what, you're pretty good at teaching this. And I said, oh, thank you. And I appreciated that. And then she said, you know what, I can propose something to the other librarians. We have these events and programs and things like that maybe you can draw something, do something called like an anime workshop, or I'm not sure if she did the term, but it just became the thing, anime workshop. So I said, oh yeah, tell me. So, one thing led to another. I started doing these workshops maybe once a month at Skokie Library. And then I would just go in there. I would just do the same thing. And then if I had to go into another part of the anime artistic process, maybe I go into inking, or maybe I go into coloring and things like that. I end up doing different parts of it. And then people came in and watched me. And then I guess librarians, I have a network. So other librarians emailed me, contacted me, told me, would you be interested in doing, I heard that you were doing anime workshops, teaching about how to draw anime style. And at the time, I believe anime was getting a little bit more popular.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah. Popular, it's popular, yep.
Yeah, and to me, Japanese animation was called Japanimation. It wasn't anime. And the only time I could ever get that kind of stuff was if I go to West Coast videos or Blockbuster videos and try to get my anime fix. And sometimes I would go to a club and they'd have these video cassettes of these of anime and stuff like that. And I no other anime. So all of a sudden, Pokemon, the video game came up, and then the cartoon came up. Oh my God! I think I was in college at the time, and all of a sudden, Pokemon became a craze and stuff like that. And I liked it. I even looked at all the 150 or 151, including I think Mew. I started some of my favorite Pokemon and that, and then I even made my own Pokemon types. And at the time, I didn't even realize, oh, this is how you do differences in like mix and matching, in Japanese they call it a matrix, where you would mix and how to draw different versions of a character. Like for example, you have a deer and you mix it with something else like a human. You make a deer with like humanoid with things like something that simple. But they would have that matrix and stuff like that. And in my subconscious, looking at all these Pokemon, they reminded everybody of like regular pets that we have, but there were versions of different pets mixed with something else. Like for example, Pikachu had like electric powers and stuff like that, and that kind of gave me that idea. So going back to the workshop, I incorporated a lot of these things into the things that I would draw, and then I ended up making my own character and stuff like that. And then I believe I was also influenced by poker at the time. I think ESPN was showing up, and we just got my parents and I just had enough money to get cable, and then one of the first things, of course, was watching Cartoon Network and stuff like that. But then I was watching ESPN. It's like, oh, hey, Dad, we play poker. This new poker thing, and Texas Hold'em was the big thing. And then I saw all these different characters of people, caricatures of people. It's like, I guess poker players can all parts of life, but they're on the poker table. They represent some kind of like persona. So to me, I was thinking to myself, oh, these can be like characters in a comic book. So I had that in mind, and I had the story. And unfortunately, I still developed this poker type of story for the last, I guess, 20 years, maybe. I don't know. But I always, the funny thing is, I made the story, and I ended up making a character called Allie Angelheart, and she plays poker. She's a college student, and to me, I think she was going to be my persona of like, I guess nowadays in the anime and things like that, people like have these crushes with like anime girl characters, and they call them waifu, like their dream wife is gonna be. So when I was making Allie, she was my personification of who like I would be my wife in the future or something like that. So I started drawing her, and then like she'd have the anime puffy cheeks and stuff like that, big eyes, and she was just dressed in like a shirt and jeans, very casual and stuff like that. And she likes poker, and then I ended up creating that character. Going back to the anime workshops, she was the one that I used as a sample for when I draw character design and stuff like that. And being able to create that character, I can kind of correlate that with how the teaching the anime style and what makes an anime character, because of my personal like investment in that. Yeah. And then from then on, one thing led to another. I was teaching anime workshops in different libraries consistently over the years for the last, I guess, if I was gonna say maybe 15 years, for the last 15 years or so. I'm not exactly.
And if somebody wants to set up an anime workshop, how do they go about doing that with you? Do they contact you? Do they call you? Do they email you?
They email me. Usually it's a library, and it's because they heard it from another library. It's a referral type of thing. And then sometimes there would be like just sparingly, like a parent who was coming from one of the workshops, and she said that they came to that library, but it's like an hour, 2 hour away, and then they wanted their child to learn more anime style, and then so I would actually tutor once in a while. I do that, and I would basically like get into schools also. So sometimes high schools would learn that I do these anime workshops, these libraries.
That's cool.
And that either the school of like our teachers doing these kinds of tutorials, special events for these for the kids, and then so some of the clubs in these schools would invite me over, and I would do the anime workshops. So yeah, those three things correlate with like how it started at the libraries, and then he went to the schools and doing personal tutoring and things like that.
Do you ever do anime workshops for like just like a like set up at a vendor fair and then you're setting up your area to do an anime workshop or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't proactively do workshops. I think
Okay.
I come and go, and it became a thing for some reason. So it ended up being like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. I get to every now and then, instead of just drawing at home and drawing and things like that, I get to give an idea of myself. And I'm not trying to say that all artists are like that, but sometimes if you're very I wouldn't say the best word is introvert, because there's different ranges of that. But I was basically, my wife would say, I'm probably like we're both homebodies. Like we like to go out, but necessarily like we like to stay in better. And so a lot of times, especially when you're an artist, you're at home, you're drawing and things like that, and then you get into the mode where you're always at home and you don't get to go out. So my wife and I try to counter that with like going out and having dinners and things like that, and maybe once in a while go to a family party. But the good thing is, as a professional with the art part of it, these workshops gave me a little voice of a little publicity of trying to express my art that way, kind of like a performance art. The same thing is when I go to conventions and draw for people. I didn't expect to do like caricatures and stuff like that, but it was a better way for me to connect than just selling pieces of art and stuff like that. I would just draw them right on the spot. I would communicate with them, and best scenario would be I'm personable, and I'm very kind and happy to meet you, but I'm very shy at the same time.
Sure.
So it's very hard to be public speaking. And the funny thing is, these workshops over the years have helped me bring that out and try to improve my way of like speaking in public and being more expressive with my art. And that point, it helps me also with going to conventions and meeting people and stuff like that. And it gives you a sense of selling yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
But originally, public speaking, I stutter. I would like, that was one of the things I would you feel the sweat coming from me. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more relaxed, and it helped me grow an artist.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. So,
oh.
But so how do you, if I want to participate in one of your current workshops, how would I get in touch with you? Do I have to contact the library?
Yeah, do contact the library. Oh, I heard, this artist, Addie Afable, done workshops in different libraries. How can I, being a patron of the library, you can suggest it to the librarians. Some of them, if you are in the library, in the library that I've been to already, they would probably say, oh yeah, he's done this before. Yeah, we can try to see. And then they can do it that way. Sometimes I would be into a convention, and they would have the workshops in, I guess, panels. You can do a workshop in a panel. And then sometimes if you do a private lesson, so basically I would go to a parent, they would, instead of instead of like doing those clowns at a birthday party, you would have me. I mean, I wouldn't say I'd be a clown, but I'd be Chibi Chubbies are I'll give you a sample of how it started. So to term a Chibi Chubby is pretty much, Chibi means small in Japanese, and it basically is anything. Back then, we used to call them super deformed, because we would take a regular size character, like an anime character, and make him into a smaller version of themselves, a little cute version of themselves. So basically, like I would call them Chibi Chubbies, because I would take a whole person and I would squeeze them into a bundle of joy, and there's a little chibi or small version, a chubby version of themselves. So I don't mean that in a PC kind of way. I just mean it in a cute kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I saying like people are so sensitive about certain things. But to me, I think that's cute. You know, my wife has chubby
Yeah.
cheeks and stuff like that, and I think that's adorable. So I like that term, chibi chubbies. It's like small, chibi, and stuff like that, and chubby, and then stuff like that, and then basically I put that together, and to
And
give you a
you do those at conventions.
yes, I do. Yeah, yeah.
Fair.
And
So people,
and
okay.
I do make caricatures. I'm not as fast as those like caricatures you see in fairs and stuff like that. I can do them maybe in an hour, half an hour if I'm in a zone. But I'll do pencil work at conventions, and then if they want color, I would mail it to them within a week and stuff like that. I try 1 or 2 weeks and then just give me their information, and then I'll give them my information, keep in contact. And if they wanted to add certain things to their like caricatures, or sometimes they don't even do caricatures; they just do their own characters. They want me to draw them in that way, a chibi chubby and stuff like that. So to give you a little background, if you don't mind,
Sure.
please. So I was convention hopping, going to the anime convention, and I was looking for a way to try to sell my art. And so my first real big convention, I guess, would be Anime Central, which I'm part of a staff artist there. And Anime Central is this Midwest anime convention for the last, I think, over 20 years now. And 25. This is our 25th year. So anyway, I'm a staff artist there, and like I started there just being the artist alley, and I was enthralled by these people who are into these uh, artists who are into these alleys. And back then, before I joined, they were into these little hotel rooms. The year that I joined, I decided, okay, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get into my art. I want to go to all these conventions throughout the country. So I started with Anime Central, and I was fortunate enough that they changed from hotel rooms into these big 300 table type of artist alley. Artist alley is all these tables of like just artists, not necessarily just doing merchandise, like which is the dealer's room. Artist alleys, like you get to connect with these artists who like to share their art and show them to you in these conventions. And I had a hard time for the first. It's only 3 days, but I had a hard time on the first day trying to figure things out. I had this character. You can see it on my thing. Like I draw like this Pokemon-looking thing called Mr. G. It was based. It was basically a mascot design I did for one of my friends' company. And then so I asked my friend, can I use Mr. G? You know, things like that. And then I would merchandise it. I would go to Michael's, and at the time you could iron prints on shirts and hats and things like that. So I'd make all these merchandise with Mr. G. None of them was selling.
Mm-hmm.
And then the person next to me said, why don't you start drawing and stuff like that for people, doing commissions? I said, oh, okay. I think so I ended up drawing commissions and stuff like that. One girl come up to me. She had bunny ears and a T-shirt called "Got Soap," and the bunny. She asked me, "Would you mind drawing me a chibi?" And I said, "Sure," but I told her, it was this the end of the day. I was really kind of not distraught. Like, I feel defeated. I didn't draw. I didn't sell much of anything that day, that night, first night. And I said, sure, I'll draw it. Would you mind? I can, do it for tomorrow. You can come back here in the morning, Saturday, and pick it up. So I said, I would need to take a picture of you. And back then we didn't have cell phones and stuff like that had cameras. So I would just I would just have a regular camera, like I think it was a disposable camera. I took a picture of her, and then I ended up getting that picture, and then going to the hotel room, going to my laptop, looking up what chibi meant. I didn't know what chibi was. I was saying chibi, and it brought up a picture of Chibi-chan, which is Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's future daughter was a big tail, pink hair, and it had this small version of Sailor Moon. It's like a chibi version I said, oh, so that's what the chibi was. I didn't. I knew her name was Chibi. Now that I know that her name is Chibi-chan, but she wasn't actually a chibi. She was actually a regular character just named Chibi-chan. But I thought, oh, what a chibi looks like. So I said, okay. I looked at the person. I took a picture of the girl, and then I looked at Chibi-chan, and I put it together. And then that's when the Chibi Chubby came to be. The next morning, I go to her, say, she picks it up. Oh, here you go. And then she said, oh my God. Oh, this is so cute. It's like, could you draw my boyfriend? And then I drew her boyfriend. It's like, oh yeah, just give me an hour and stuff like that. Like and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden their friends started going to me. It's like, oh, could you draw me too? And then that's where the Chibi Chubby came to be. I didn't know what Chibi Chubby. I didn't have the term Chibi Chubby yet until the next convention. So I go to another convention. I think I went to Olacon in the East Coast, and then I said, okay, I'll make a sign. It's like, be my Chibi Chubby. And I said, okay. And then people would ask me, oh, what's a Chibi Chubby? Oh, I do a caricature of you into a chibi form. He said, oh my God, that's a great idea. Okay, come back in an hour. I'll draw you and pick it up a drawing. So and then it's like, oh, can you draw me in color? Oh, he said, unfortunately, I can't. I don't have my computer here, but I can mail it to you. You know, I can make a print of you in color and stuff like that. And I said, oh yeah, sure, no problem. So for the color, that's when I started like just taking a picture of them. And then it gives me a week to, develop them and have a little bit better picture instead of just a sketch right on the spot. And then that ended up being that way too. And then one thing led to Anime Expo, which is in the West Coast. And I did the same thing with Chibi Chubbies there. And then I kept on going back and forth and different things. Nowadays, I'm just mainly in Illinois. But I used to remember convention hopping, developed that Chibi Chubby kind of thing. So
now I have been. Is it the proper term, Chibi Chubbied?
Oh, you have been Chibi Chubby?
I have been, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you for being my patron.
Yeah, you know what? It was a couple years ago, but you drew me then what I look like now.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
to give you a little, whenever I draw these things, it gives me a little sense of joy. For some reason, like I look, because you kind of like you're in the spot of trying to. I guess caricature artists do the same thing. They have to get a semblance of that person in an instant, the first impression of that person, and then you draw it. That's basically, and it gives me a certain joy. It's like, oh my God, this is adorable version of this character. Like I got the gist of it, but I make him into a little cute little anime character.
Yeah. Our time is running out, but I do want to ask you very quickly. You
sure.
Illustrate. You are an illustrator. So if somebody were interested in having you illustrate for, I don't know, if they're writing a story,
yeah,
say, hey, you can do that type of thing.
Yeah. Pages that I can do any kind of commissions. To give you an idea, it's not just Chibi Chubbies, which is what I love, but at the same time, like I do like a comic book or two. It's a little bit, you can start the thing, and then I draw any kind of video game characters, anime characters, actual American comic book characters, and the like. It ranges anything of pop culture type of characters, and stuff. So and people have done that, and they can either do it into a chibi form or regular form in whatever natural style that I have for it.
Well, listen, Addie, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you talking to me. If people want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
You can go to my website, www.artisticdragon.com, and you can reach out to me through my email, addie@artisticdragon.com. That's the best way. You can also, I guess, I'm not very good at social media. Like I forget exactly how to reach me with Facebook, but Addie Afable, ADDIE, Afable, AFABLE. You can look me up in Facebook, and then you can probably do a private message, DM me that way. So, and Instagram, I think I'm Artistic Dragon Addie, but don't quote me on that. But if you can't reach me in those places, Addie@artisticdragon.com, the email. I'm so old school. That's the only contact that I have that's, that's consistent.